so it's come to this. So, Housebroken is a show that exists and has a plot. I mean, it's not bad. It isn't. It actually got a couple laughs out of me. It's just that I'm struggling to remember a lot of specific details despite running a screen recorder while watching each episode twice for this review and taking notes during the second watch, and that, to me, is a sign of a truly middle-of-the-road product. If I had to break it down to its essence, I would almost call Housebroken a spiritual successor to something like Rugrats, where most of the jokes come from basing the show's reality entirely within the limited perspective of a group of characters who are in our world, but not necessarily a part of it. One thing that really surprised me is that I really like the animation. It was definitely influenced by the Rick and Morty style that's become so popular lately and that I'm honestly kind of tired of, but it's vibrant. I really like the way the characters move, and I like their designs, other than this one. For some reason, I find him hard to look at. I think the reason is that all the other characters are drawn so that their faces are more or less anatomically correct. You know, their teeth look right and they have the correct proportions and stuff, but this guy has, like, human teeth, and his face looks like it ends too soon, and I just really don't like looking at him. The voice acting and character body language is also excellent. Like, look at this group of animals and imagine what they sound like, and you're probably right. Whoever the casting director is, you did a good job. Leverage that to get work on something better. Anyway, the show focuses largely on this poodle, Honey, who's sort of a group therapist for the neighborhood house pets, and they all have pretty great distinct personalities. Honey is earnest and bright, but seems to have a lot of anxiety and is having trouble getting over the death of the dog next door.
Humans. They all look alike, but they each have their own individual personalities.
Chief is a happy idiot who largely just exists for gross-out humor and to force you to look at his horrible, horrible face.
I think I know a little something about bees and flowers, thank you very much. Bit of escalation!
There's also a corgi who's pretty good.
I prefer not to be limited by the good dog, bad dog binary. It's a spectrum.
Alright, actually, she's pretty funny. I really like this character.
I'm Elsa, service dog, thank you. I answer to she, her, hers, and...
She tries so hard to be everyone's best friend, to be considerate of everyone's feelings, but she can't help but make everything about her, and her voice actor delivers all the lines so seriously that she managed to get a laugh out of me a good number of times.
I was triggered when Max used the term half-breed. Please use the term mosaic canine.
I'm triggered by the fact that you look like a piñata mated with a loaf of bread.
My cousin ran off with a coyote. Completely blew up her life. I don't even think she knows about my vest.
There's also Max, a pig who apparently belongs to George Clooney and once farted on Dame Judi Dench.
Let's wrap up the fart jokes.
Tabitha, an aging former animal model.
You know what I used to fit into? A shot glass. It hurt, but I did it. You know why? Because it was cute. People love it.
Chico, the binge-eating tabby.
I'm just here for maintenance.
And the gray one, who lives with a hoarder who has too many cats to name them all.
I live with a nice lady and anywhere from 40 to 60 other cats.
There's a couple more characters, like the fish, who just hates everyone else in the room.
You got a lot of anger packed into that squishy fish body of yours. I can help you with that.
Gross.
My personal favorite. A horny turtle who keeps trying to bang a croc he found in a bush, and a homicidal hamster, but they don't figure into the plot quite as much in these initial episodes. A big part of the show is just how the characters bounce off each other, and that's honestly my favorite kind of humor. They all mean well, but they're super self-absorbed, and it just works really well. The first two episodes largely focus on Honey coming to terms with her friend's death and inviting a new dog to group therapy. The show's honestly at its best when all the characters are just getting together and interacting, accidentally antagonizing each other and then trying to fumble to fix it, or just not acknowledging it, or acknowledging that they antagonize the other person, but just rolling with it as if nothing's wrong. It's at its worst whenever this stumpy-faced monstrosity is the focus. I think the show pushes gross-out humor a little too hard. I guess it can be funny sometimes, and it has its place, but I don't think the writers can really pull it off the way they can with situational humor. I also kind of hate some of the subplots because they don't really go anywhere, and they seem to magically resolve themselves out of nowhere with little to no impact on anything, and it just kind of feels like they did it to give the side characters something to do. The show in general feels kind of meandering. Like, the episodes have a plot, and there's clearly an overarching meta, but it's hard to say exactly what the f*** it is. Somehow, they managed to make every main and subplot feel simultaneously rushed and dragged out, which is a f***ing skill, in my opinion. There's only 2 episodes out currently, so it's hard to say which direction the show is going to go, but I genuinely feel like it has some potential. It's definitely not for everyone, and I'm actually not quite ready to recommend it unless what I've told you so far had you really intrigued. It got some solid laughs and some even more solid cringes out of me, and I guess that's higher praise than it sounds like, because I'm not usually someone who laughs at things that are supposed to be funny, and it's especially rare for a comedy movie or TV show to get much out of me beyond a little extra air through my nostrils. To sum up, I was surprised by Housebroken because it wasn't complete dog shit, which is 100% what I expected. Like I said before, I'm hesitant to recommend it just yet, but I will say it has some solidly funny moments, and it actually got more laughs out of me on the second watch, which just shouldn't happen. Anyway, I guess if this sounds like something you'd like, then give it a shot, but if you have any doubts about whether or not you'd like it, I think you can safely skip it without missing much. I think once more episodes are out and they've really locked down the characters and plots, I'll do a more in-depth review, but until then, it's a fun little show that manages to squeeze some genuinely funny jokes and characters into what was otherwise not something that would appeal to me much. So that's about it. I'm gonna have some shorter reviews for this week and probably the next week after, but I'm gonna try to stick to my 2 review-a-week schedule. It's largely just that the amount of time I've had to work on these videos has been damped down a lot, and it takes a lot of work to get these together. I should be back to my usual 10 to 15 minute reviews sometime next month, and thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to have me take a look at, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.